Okay, so we were talking about what's happening with the vegetarian part, and I want you to tell me you told me that you never ate meat, or it was mostly religious reasons and the personal choice.
Yeah.
But do you think was it ever or did it occur to you what's happening to the animal when other people eat it, not you obviously?
So obviously I'm aware of what's happening to the animals when other people are eating it, which is why I made my personal choice to not be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I chose not to eat it myself.
Yes.
But I would like to do more to discourage people from not eating it. But obviously that's other people's choice.
Yeah,
so
you cannot force.
Yeah, I can't force it upon other people to not eat meat.
I get it.
But
do you think there is something problematic when we force or believe for opinions or to other beings, I would say?
Yeah, because obviously everyone's got a free choice. It's up to them to decide.
Yeah.
And if they don't feel anything, then we can't really force someone to have certain beliefs.
Yeah.
So, and that's with everything. So it's just a personal choice that someone has to make for themselves, lifestyle-wise.
Yes.
But I think because there's so many alternatives right now, it's not much different from being a vegan and eating differently. So it's a better.
What about you?
Yeah, I used to eat meat, but obviously I watched these documentaries and I decided to stop eating meat from then. It's been 6 years now, and I just I don't think there's a lack or anything in my diet because I can find what they say protein in meat that you get. I can find that in other things.
It's lentils and stuff like that. Other protein supplements, corn.
Yeah, you can get protein in what you would otherwise get from an animal. You get it from plants.
What these people go through, it's not worth having that on your karma.
But this is actually standard practices. What I'm waiting for is just to see what's happening in the dairy industry.
Yeah, and this is all in UK as well, which is even worse.
Yeah,
it's where we're from.
Oh, you're from the UK,
yeah?
Okay. Yeah. So did you know that the UK and Australia, they have the highest standards of welfare? Were you aware of that?
No, we don't actually, because obviously they still have these standards, but stuff like this is still happening.
Yeah, but
so
do you think we can kill an animal otherwise? Because they do not want to die.
I don't think there's any right way of killing an animal. There's just not. No matter whether they're safe or not, there's just not. But if people are still going to continue to have it, then it should be done in the best possible way.
Okay.
But I just don't think there is never a right way.
Yes. Do you think though, what would be closer to what you want? Do you think people should support this, or maybe find what you saw in getting what you need as food from other
maybe reducing the intake of eating meat, which means that less animals would get, because obviously it's not going to go to no one's going to turn vegetarian all of a sudden
that's scale. Yeah, but not overnight at least. Not overnight.
Yeah, exactly.
People have changed their lifestyle, I think. There's so many more vegan vegetarian options out there than there was 5 years ago. In the last 3-4 years.
I can vote for this because 5 years ago there
was nothing, but in the last few years there's been a lot more. I think because with dairy, a lot of people are intolerant to it because they put so many they inject the animals for them to mass produce.
Hormones and
so people are becoming allergic to it, so it's forcing them to kind of go to alternatives.
But do you think, because we said vegetarian, but do you think when someone is a vegetarian forces his beliefs on the animal? Because I can argue this, and in this conversation I will make some hard questions. If I'm rude, I'm not trying to be, so apologies in advance. But do you think we force our beliefs when we take a baby cow from its mother and then we take the milk?
Yeah, I mean,
we do.
Yeah, I think it's against the animal's choice, and what's worse is that they're being reproduced for this, and it's harming the cows when in reproduction as well, giving birth to so many cows just for a purpose when there's obviously other alternatives. So I think reducing the intake would be a good start, because it would mean that there's more animals that live another day or live a few more days.
Treating them better when they're in these conditions.
But I can maybe add something to it. Because it's an industry, and the industries, they try to be efficient, and they try to do things in the most, in a way, the
cost-effective way as well.
Yes, that's the key here.
Yeah, but then that means that animals are getting more harmed. So just for cost-effectiveness, which is why it should be more standard practice to get them, be more tough on the rules.
Yeah, but this is the best you can get. like I'm telling you, like the UK and Australia have the higher standard. So this is what you say standard practices, and it only gets worse. But
so bad.
I'm saying
this is so bad. This is the best, and this is already so bad.
Yeah,
so.
But do you think though, like if it was done in the best way, I'm not going to say humane because that's a contradiction.
Yeah.
But I would say that. Do you think there is you said that there's not a good way to kill an animal?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that, well, every cow, every goat, every sheep that we use for milk, it ends up in a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a correlation between the drinking of milk and the meat industry, because they end up there like?
Yeah, definitely. I think there is a correlation because how they're getting treated is the same, and like you said, it's an industry, and how they're mass producing this for us. It's coming from animals. So it's going to be they're not treating the animal any different. For just this way, they're going to die, and in for dairy products, they're just getting they're just getting abused so badly for them to produce all this like milk and stuff.
Yeah, but even if they had the best life in the the greenest field. Yeah. Would it still be okay to take their babies to forcefully impregnate them? It wouldn't be okay.
No.
So how come we're vegetarian and not vegan? That's the question.
I guess being vegetarian is already for some people so tough enough that for vitamins and stuff, like for example eggs, stuff like that, it's so hard to get protein sometimes that it's hard enough to be a vegetarian, that to be vegan is that extra step. And obviously the cost of these products in the supermarket doesn't help, because sometimes the cost for vegan stuff is so much higher than normal stuff, and people don't not everyone can afford that difference as well, so they go for sometimes the cheapest.
I get it, but
the lifestyle change.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because when I started from normal milk to oat milk, when I started buying it, it is a lot more costly than thingy. But for me, it's worth it.
It used to be a little bit more expensive. Now it's getting a little bit better.
Yeah, now it's getting a lot better. But I think it's worth it because I don't have that guilt that I'm drinking cow's milk or like whatever, which is it just helps, and I feel better doing that. Or like when I'm going for the ice cream, I'll get a sorbet now instead of a ice cream, because obviously that's got.
But sometimes you can actually find almond products in sorbets as well. So just maybe try to double check with them. That's just a small asterisk. But what I want to say is, why do you think it's more expensive? Because a hint is that we live in a non-vegan world, and most people pay for cow's milk, goat's milk and stuff like that. But do you think like if there is a healthy way and a sustainable way for us to be vegan, and I'm gonna stress that it's when you plan it, it can be cost effective, especially in the UK, because I know guys, you're like a mecca in a way with vegan stuff.
Personally, I wouldn't mind going vegan, but I just think at the moment, because say like for example myself,
I'm not gonna say okay. Listen, I do not want to let's say see what you're doing now. I want you to think and reflect on what you feel is the right choice, regardless of what you do. Okay, so what is and by no means this is a direction, just what do you think is closer to your morals?
Oh, definitely veganism is closer to the morals, but it's a lifestyle change that it needs to be worked towards, gradually work towards, gradually build up to become vegan type of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Just take slow steps into order, cutting out things, because right now I don't drink milk. I hardly ever drink milk, so if it's in certain products, then I'll have it. But
also, it's hard to find products when you're starting off. Because sometimes you will taste something and it doesn't taste good, but you've got to get used to it or try different products in the vegan market to find what you like. Because when I started,
that is very true.
Because I tried almond milk.
You guys know stuff though. You're not in level 0. You do know stuff about this. No, literally.
So when I started off, I tried coconut milk, almond milk, but I didn't like it. And then when I started drinking oat milk, I finally liked it. But that took a few months for me to find, because it wasn't out there straight away. So it takes. For someone, so she was to try coconut milk, she might not like it, and then she might just go back to normal milk, and then it'll take a few months later she might try another type of milk.
But
even with cheese, to find the right cheese that you like that doesn't remind you of the old cheese that you used to.
I get it. What about you? What do you think? What's closer to you? In your ethics?
I think being vegan is really important, but then for me, I study food and nutrition. I think about children, obviously you start off by drinking like your mother's milk, which is meant for you, and cow's milk is meant for calves.
Baby cows.
Yeah, but then you need the nutrients from like for babies to grow stronger and healthier. So you usually start off with that. So it's a difference between children who need it as well.
Do you think we can, is it a question about nutrition? Like, can we have children as vegans? Is that the question, or is it children have to be, let's say, vegetarians to be strong and healthy?
I don't know, because children usually start off with being vegetarian anyway, and then it's what their parents live with.
Yeah, it's their parents' choice, because my parents don't eat meat. So for me, it's been easier to not eat meat my whole life. But my brother,
I get what you're saying.
So it's different, because my brother still eats meat, but my parents don't, and I don't.
I get it.
So it's a different choice, but you start off on the same page.
And like most baby food don't even have like
so we don't have vegan vegan formulas in babies. It's not as common, and in a situation like, how are you going to to grow a healthy vegan baby in a way?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not.
Something else. Dogs can be vegan, but cats can't. Dogs can live off a vegan lifestyle. So you got to think about like animals that you groom as your own as well.
Sorry to interrupt, I just want to get this. I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist. Okay, full disclosure. Although we have the biggest association of registered dietetics, it's the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics of the USA. It's more than 100,000, professionals, and they say from 117 studies, an abstract that is, well-planned vegan diet is health promoting and obviously, sufficient for all stages of life, including pregnancy, infancy, and whatnot. So it's not obviously French fries and soda or something. It's something well planned, but it's doable.
No, yeah, I understand. But then, let's say if I choose to be vegan, but then if I have a dog or something, people associate that with.
I get it, but. Okay, what I know, this is what I know, okay? I know that dogs can actually do it. Yeah, it's rather easy.
Dogs can live off a vegan diet, but cats can't.
I've seen, cats being okay, and some other cats were not okay. So that's something that's not, something I can really argue about them. Yeah. And I know we have strays, so I wouldn't go for a breed of a cat. So, I would say, we have a cat and she eats the vegan food and she eats, critters and mice and whatnot outside. She also eats, some other foods that, neighbors, they do feed those cats. But I'm not going to stop her though.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. I don't really like it when she does it, but I'm not going to, say, I'm going to feed her, something that's vegan and that's that. But before we go to other animals, I think it's important on what we do. Because we kind of pay for that.
No, like I know if we make a start from doing vegan, lots of people just think that it's not making a difference. Why should I, as one person, just start making difference? Lots of people just think that
you have an argument. Okay, let's see.
But that starts off with your personal ethics. Like if I think it's really wrong, I won't do it. I don't care what other people are doing, because you can be doing whatever you want, because that's your personal karma. So, but if it goes against my beliefs, then I still won't do it. Because whether that makes a difference or not, that's a different story. But for me, I'm doing my part to make that kind of difference to stop.
Yes, exactly. And I'm gonna, say that, do you think what society does is, dictates what's moral or not? Because we can go back in the past and we can say that the norm was to have black people as slaves. Women, they did not get to vote. So, but back then that was, the normal.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was not fair.
I also think veganism is becoming a trend. It's becoming trendy for people.
Do you think it's a trend though?
I think it's becoming a trend.
Yes.
And that's why a lot of people are changing their lifestyle, because a lot of people are just following on. So now in restaurants in the UK, I know or most restaurants, I think it's a law that they need to have a vegan dish. So each. You
guys have it so easy. You guys, I'm vegan almost 6 years this November, and 5 years ago I had to discuss about 5 minutes why I do not want cheese on my pizza, because obviously there was no vegan cheese option. It started to become a little bit more, mainstream about 2 to 3 years ago. As in more people knew about it, and now we have more options, and even in bigger chains. I'm not going to name, but bigger chains of food chains, they have vegan options.
Yeah.
So you said, would you like to go on the pescatarian thing just a little bit?
Yeah.
Why? Like, again, why do you think you're eating fish? Is it a tasting? Is it something to to get a specific nutrient or something?
I think for me personally, I've not done as much research into fish.
It's alright. Just with you, you can reflect on it now.
Because so I go gym quite often, so I need a lot of protein to keep up. So that's just the easy way for me to fit that into my diet.
Okay.
However, it contradicts what I'm doing, but for protein shakes, which use dairy products, I will have vegan protein shakes, which is a bit more expensive, but for me that works.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it that huge of a difference to, let's say, I know it's a hard question, just to to justify this? Is it like because
it's not justifiable, but I think I've purposely not done research on fish because I don't want to stop eating it. But I know if I do more research, I will stop. But that's on me. But I think in the future, near future, I will completely stop because
it's like the baby steps, like going towards.
I get it.
Listen,
so, in my eyes, I would literally think to the people that I at least speak to, I would like to go this, and especially when they've realized so much on their own, or just by this conversation. But I know it's the best way for everyone is to find something that's sustainable for him or her, or and
it's a lifestyle that is not suited for one person.
Yes. It is not, but what I would stress out is that we cannot be a little bit vegan. It's like you either steal or you don't do it. Because if it's something bad, you cannot do it in a smaller scale.
Can I ask you?
Yes, sure.
You're promoting veganism, but do you think you should start off by promoting vegetarianism in terms of taking the slow steps? Because obviously pushing someone from being a 24/7 meat eater into the deep end to be a vegan, that's in my eyes, I don't know if that's still a fast stretch. And then pushing someone to be a vegetarian, if that makes sense, because then that's still I don't know the percentages and the statistics, but in terms of dairy, I think they're not as slaughtered and treated.
I get what you're saying. You're saying what I'm hearing is by saying someone is going vegetarian, it would be a lot easier than going vegan.
It's not even easier. It's just a step that they can.
Yes. Okay. So
a platform where they can then build on to being a vegan from, because we're at a good position where we're already vegetarians, so we can work towards being a vegan.
Right.
But if I ate, I don't, but if I did eat meat when I was a heavy meat eater, then going straight to veganism, it's a different lifestyle completely. So
I'm going to reply on this. Would you like to say something more? Because I can get.
I also think it's a cultural thing. In a lot of cultures, they like big meat dishes or plastic.
Yeah, this is Greece. But I think that's I can say this is Greece, but I can think of UK, and you guys have sausages and bacon and beans for breakfast, which this is something that we see oh, this is too heavy even for Greeks. So so my backstory is this is my mother actually, recording this one. So when we were living together, we had huge fights about why we don't have meat with the legumes or whatever. It had to have meat in every. So I'm one of those meat eaters, but I was also a dog lover and a cat, protector in a way. So you cannot actually pet the one and pay to kill the other. So this is what I saw, and saying that you can be vegetarian would be a half measure in my eyes. I know it is easier, and I know
it's definitely a half measure, don't get me wrong, because it's not going the full way for the animals, but it's just, in my eyes, it's just a start. It's a good thing to build from.
I get it. But it is also, let's say, some people feel that it's enough on what they're doing. Well, while it's, I could never just say, I'm doing something bad, but I will do less of it, but I'm still doing something bad. So this is why I want to go the whole way. Because if I was in their positions, I would not want to be, some of us, a little bit of pain, or, some of them. Because we breed about 50 to 70 billion animals yearly, and we obviously kill them. That is just in land. And about 1 to 3 trillion animals when it comes to sea animals. So how can we go halfway in that?
I mean, statistically, I don't know, but I just imagine that if people stopped eating meat for meat dishes, it would go down drastically, and then the veganism, it would be just the cherry on top type of thing, going the full way.
In my eyes, I think veganism is actually the ground zero. Because like when we say that the form of life, and I'm not speaking about plants, I'm talking about the sentient form of life, doesn't matter. This is when we start to discriminate. And we say, some they don't matter, they're not like us. And this is where we had the biggest, well, I wouldn't say the biggest, but we have the biggest forms of discriminations between humans. And we always, what we did to animals first, then we did in humans. So, I don't know, like, it doesn't seem, like another,
It's not the ideal situation,
sorry.
so don't get me wrong, it's not the ideal situation, but it's just better than what is happening right now, in my eyes.
Better than nothing, but I would not say it's enough.
Better than nothing, but it's not enough. And obviously there's always things that can be done.
Yes, I agree with you. So guys, I do not want to take more of your time.
Wait,
because...
I just have one. So,
yes, sure.
let's say someone's trying to start making a change. Like,
yes.
We've come from the UK, we have lots of options.
We have lots of options. Like, in a way, you're kind of lucky, but we're kind of lucky because we have fresh produce.
Yes, no. But let's say we've come here, but we've been trying, but the only like vegan, vegetarian dish out here is pasta.
Yeah.
You're going to get bored of that.
I understand this.
So is it the people, do you need to make the difference with the people first or the restaurant? Like, I don't...
On a bigger scale.
Yeah, on a bigger scale then.
Yeah.
I know it starts from us lot trying to make a difference. But then it's if that's a brand's reputation of meat, like that's the whole...
we drive the demander. When we pay for something, it's like we're voting for it, in a way.
Yeah.
In a way. Oh. Okay, that's probably protest coming down, so I think we are gonna
What's the protest like?
I don't know, maybe about the vaccines or stuff. I really don't know.
Okay.
But
here we go again.
Yes. So what I wanted to say is, I know, like, what would you say is closer to your morals and your, what you feel is best? Like, is it being a vegan or is it being something other than a vegan? What's closer to you?
Closer to my morals would definitely be veganism, but it's just something to work towards.
Okay.
Personally.
What about you?
Same, veganism good because I know we can survive because our roots are like Indian, so they've lived off like grains and like sprouts and everything. So it's definitely you're able to live healthy lives with just being vegan.
Okay, maybe we can interrupt this one. Let's go on the side because I think that
we're originally from India, that's where our roots are from, and obviously over there we don't eat a lot of meat. So I think like we've literally our ancestors have literally survived over grains, sprouts, and like
an organic diet and like a pure organic diet.
Organic diets are good for a healthy life. Like it's probably better for a healthy life as well.
So it's like very livable, like you're getting all the nutrients and everything. Like my mum's a vegetarian, like a pure one, no egg or anything.
Basically vegan.
So
But no, not even milk or cheese?
No, she doesn't. So
you have a vegan mother.
Yeah.
I made my mother vegan, but you guys already have one?
Yeah.
Okay, you're lucky, once again.
No, so it's definitely livable. But then it's the environment and culture around us.
Yeah. But I do think it's probably got worse, like over in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
It's gotten worse because all our ancestors probably did have a vegan, like an organic diet before. Well, I know from India, especially. I don't know about European countries.
It went worse when we got introduced to fast food and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, because like we did have a war and with Germany and Italy and back in 1940s. So back, like they were saying, it was they were not eating meat. They were just eating, once in a while, because they did not have the luxury of it. It was a luxury back then. But now, when we economists, they get to do better. Fast food is, in a way, on the rise. But the thing is, what we do about it.
Yeah.
So
it's hard because people are fighting for human rights, but then they forget about animal rights as well. So like it's.
Do you think the ones that know better should do better, or should just wait for the rest that they do not have an idea, get an idea and maybe do something them first?
So I'm pescatarian, like I said. My friend stopped eating fish and like meat because she watched a documentary on Netflix, and every time she sees us eating fish, she's always telling us that you shouldn't. So it's like people who are trying to make the little steps in their like smaller group. Like, do any of your friends eat meat? Like proper meat? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like if you just like in your smaller group, if you try to make it, like she said it to me and I'm coming here and saying it here, and then you'll go, like, it goes on.
Sometimes it's like you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable for eating fish, or like, you know, for just certain things. Like,
I get it.
You know,
But would you feel the same though when the argument in place would be to, you know, kill a dog or hit a woman? Would you say, you know what, you want to do this, but I'm not going to do this? So would you feel bad then? If it was,
I think all the information is out there, and people choose to avoid it. Like me with fish, I'm choosing to avoid it because I don't want to take that step. But once I do,
thank you for this honesty, though.
So people are purposely, they know it, they don't want to watch the things because they know it'll put them off and they don't want to eat it. But
I was, before you guys, I was talking to a girl that says, I cannot watch this. And I'm saying, how can you not watch this but pay for someone to do it? Yeah. So that's, you know, that's the thing.
People are choosing not to watch it because they don't want to become aware. So I think that's the problem. But when more people are watching, like Netflix is paying to show this, it's made so many people aware about it already. So just little steps like that, it's already helping.
Yeah, but I think like when
long way to go though, like you said, it's a long way to go still.
Yeah.
But I think it's come a long way as well. Like there's been massive progress made in the last few years.
Yeah.
There is, and regardless of progress being made or not, like it always starts with us.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, they say that we have to be the change that we want to see in the world. Otherwise, we're kind of a hypocrite because saying you change, but I'm here. So I do not want to take more of your time. Would you like to ask anything more, or you guys are on vacation or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I hope you had a great time in Greece. Is it okay to post this one? It's going to be our conversation, nothing.
Yeah.
More
take your YouTube.
Yeah, sure. But I do try to translate the recipes that I do because they're vegan recipes. But what's in English already, it's going to obviously remain in English.
What's your Instagram?